You finally get what you wanted. The grades, the job, the money, the recognition. And for a moment, it feels incredible. Like everything made sense. Like all those late nights, all that pressure, all that sacrifice. It finally paid off. But then, something strange happens. The feeling fades, faster than you expected. And instead of feeling fulfilled, you feel restless, empty, like something is still missing. So you do what you've always done. You set a new goal. Push harder, work longer, aim higher. Because maybe the next one will fix it, but it doesn't. And if you've ever felt that quiet emptiness right after success, then you're not broken. You're experiencing something deeply studied in psychology. There's a concept known as the Hedonic Treadmill, the idea that no matter what we achieve, we quickly return to a baseline level of happiness. It's why the promotion feels amazing for a week, why the milestone matters until it doesn't, why finally making it never quite feels like arriving. Researchers like Brickman and Campbell first described this phenomenon decades ago, showing that humans are incredibly good at adapting, even to the things they once thought would change everything. And high achievers, they run on this treadmill faster than anyone, because their lives are built around forward motion. There's always another target, another level, another version of better. So instead of enjoying what they've built, they're already chasing what's next. But the real question isn't what they're chasing, it's why they need to chase it all. From the outside, high achievers look driven, focused, disciplined, but psychologically, that drive is often fueled by something much quieter and much more uncomfortable. A feeling that who they are right now isn't enough. Many psychologists have explored this idea, including Carl Jung, who believed that people often build identities around compensating for parts of themselves they don't fully accept. In simple terms, we overdevelop the parts of us that get rewarded and suppress the parts that feel vulnerable. So if someone grows up being praised for achievement, they learn something powerful. I am valued when I succeed. And over time, that turns into, I am only valuable if I succeed. That shift is subtle, but it changes everything. Because now, achievement isn't just something you do, it becomes something you need. Not for growth, but for validation. And that's where things start to break. Because no external success can permanently fix an internal belief. You can't outachieve a feeling of not being enough. So even when you win, it doesn't land the way it should. And instead of feeling satisfied, you feel pressure. Pressure to maintain it, to prove it wasn't luck, to do it again. This is where perfectionism enters. And despite how it looks, perfectionism isn't about having high standards. It's about fear. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear that if you're not exceptional, you'll be exposed. Psychologists call this maladaptive perfectionism, and it's strongly linked to anxiety, depression, and chronic dissatisfaction. Researchers like Paul Hewitt and Gordon Flett have shown that people with these traits don't just want to succeed, they feel like they have to, because their self-worth depends on it. So instead of celebrating success, they analyze it, pick it apart, focus on what could have been better, and then move on. There's no pause, no arrival, just the next expectation. And over time, something deeper happens. Your identity starts to merge with your performance. You're no longer someone who achieves things. You become the achiever, the reliable one, the productive one, the one who has it together. And that identity is hard to let go of, because if you stop achieving, what's left? Who are you without the goals, the pressure, the constant motion? This is where a lot of high achievers get stuck, because they've built a life that looks successful, but doesn't feel meaningful. And slowly, without realizing it, they begin to sacrifice the very things that make life feel full. Rest, connection, presence. There's a theory in psychology called self-determination theory, developed by Edward Deci and Richard Ryan. It suggests that real fulfillment doesn't come from achievement alone, but from 3 core needs: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. In other words, feeling in control of your life, feeling capable, and feeling genuinely connected to others. High achievers usually have the second one covered. They're competent. But often, they lack the other 2. They don't feel free because they're driven by internal pressure. and they don't feel deeply connected because they're always performing. So even when life looks full, it feels empty, and eventually the system starts to break. That's where burnout comes in. Not just physical exhaustion, but emotional depletion. A state where you're still doing everything you're supposed to do, but you don't feel anything while doing it. And what makes burnout so dangerous for high achievers is that they don't stop when they're tired. They stop when they're forced to, because slowing down feels unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. When you've spent your whole life moving forward, stillness can feel like failure. But here's the truth most people don't realize. The problem isn't ambition. Ambition isn't the enemy. The problem is using achievement to solve something it was never meant to fix. Because success can give you recognition, it can give you stability, it can give you opportunities, but it cannot give you a sense of worth that you don't already allow yourself to feel. That has to come from somewhere else. And for many high achievers, the shift doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing something much harder, letting go of the belief that they have to earn their value, learning to exist without constantly proving something, allowing themselves to be seen, not just for what they do, but for who they are. And that's uncomfortable, because it means stepping out of the identity that protected you for so long. But it's also where things start to change, because the moment you stop chasing worth through achievement becomes something different. It stops being survival and starts becoming expression, not something you need to feel okay, but something you choose because it matters to you. And that's a very different life, a quieter one, a more grounded one where success doesn't feel empty anymore, because it's no longer carrying the weight of your identity. It's just part of it, not the whole thing.